Good morning, children. This is English for class 8. How are you all? Studying hard, children? Very good. Next month you have your annual examination. Okay, so let's begin today's session. Today's session is about reported speech, direct and indirect speech. The following paragraphs illustrate the two ways in which we can report the words of a speaker. 1. Teacher said, "Have you done your homework?" Student said, "Sorry, teacher, I could not complete it." Teacher said, "Why couldn't you complete your homework? Now get out of my class." The teacher asked the student if he had done his homework. The student apologized that he could not do his homework. On knowing this, the teacher angrily asked him the reason for not doing the homework and asked him to get out of the class. In 1, we give the exact words used by the speaker. This is called the direct speech. In 2, we do not give the exact words of the speaker, but give only the substance of what he said. This is called the indirect speech or narration. Rules for changing direct speech into indirect. The following rules will help you in changing direct speech into indirect. Okay, here are the rules, children. Have a look at it. If the reporting verb is in the present or future tense, what happens, children? Come on, tell me. The verb in the reported speech is not changed at all. Direct. Look at this example, children. Mina says there is no water in the jug. Indirect. Mina says that there is no water in the jug. If the reporting verb is in the past tense, the verb in the reported speech is also in the past tense. Now, these are some rules which you have to learn by heart. You have to record it. Keep it in your mind. There's no other go but to remember these rules. So, if the reporting verb is in the past tense, the verb in the reported speech is also in the past tense. You have to remember this. The matter inside the inverted comma will change as under. Have a look. The simple present becomes the simple past. Direct speech. Teacher said, "Kitty works very hard." Indirect. Teacher said that Kitty worked very hard. Rule. Exception to Rule 2. If the reported speech contains some universal or habitual facts, then the simple present in the reported speech does not change. It remains the same, but remains unchanged. Okay, so the Mother Teresa said charity begins at home. The Mother Teresa said that charity begins at home because this is a universal truth. So the tense remains the same here. Students may carefully note the following in order to understand the change of persons. First person is changed into the person of the subject. Second person is changed into the person of the object. Third person, there is no change. In the reported speech, said to changes to told. Thus, direct, he said to me, I will go there tomorrow. He told me that he would go there tomorrow. The next day. So tomorrow changes into next day. You have to by heart. There's no other go but to remember. How? To by heart. You have to by heart it. Rule. In the reported speech, the words expressing nearness are changed into words expressing distance or remoteness. Thus, this changes into what? That. Correct. Note, children, please note. A go changes to before, just, then, come, go. Next month, the following month. Words expressing nearness. Words expressing What? Distance. This changes to that. These changes to those. Here changes to there. There, there. Now, then. Today, that day. Tomorrow, the next day. You have to by heart these rules and be thorough with it. What's expressing nearness or distance? Yesterday, the previous day, or the day before. Last night, the night before. You have to remember. Reported speech. There are two different ways in which we can report the words of a speaker. Direct speech or direct narration. Indirect speech or indirect narration. So two different types. Direct speech contains the actual words of the speaker. Sarla said, my father has a roaring business in Mumbai. He said to me, I'm feeling unwell today. In these sentences, the actual words of the speaker are given within inverted commas without any change. Please note, children. Indirect speech gives the substance of the speaker's actual words and not the exact words spoken by him or her. As Sarla said that her father had a roaring business in Mumbai. He told me that he was feeling unwell that day. The actual words of the speaker given within inverted commas are called the reported speech. In the same way, the verb which introduces the reported speech is called the reporting verb. In the sentence above, said is the reporting verb and my father has a roaring business in Mumbai is the reported speech. Reporting verb and reported speech. Look at the sentences. Radha says, I shall finish my homework today. Shushma said to Pushpa, show me your dolls. The verb says and said in the above sentences are reporting verbs. The exact words of the speaker given within inverted commas are reported speech. Here are some distinctive points regarding the direct speech and indirect speech. In the direct speech, the reported speech is put within inverted commas. The reported speech and the reporting verb are separated by a comma. The first word of the reported speech begins with a capital letter. So note these points, children. Transformation of direct speech into indirect speech. Rules for the change of tense. So, if the reporting verb is in the present or future, the tense of the verb in the reported speech does not what? Change. Examples. Direct, Rajesh says she has brought name to a family. Brought fame. Sorry, it is fame, children. Rajesh says she has brought fame to a family. Indirect, Rajesh says that she has brought fame to her family. Rohit has said, I cannot displease my friend. Rohit has said that he cannot displease his friend. Direct, I shall say, I went to Agra on Monday. Indirect, I shall say that I went to Agra on Monday. See, direct speech, indirect speech. She will say, I have sent him a present. She will say that she has sent him a present. If the reporting verb is in the past tense, the verb in the reported speech must be changed into corresponding past tense. Examples. I said, I am speaking the truth. Indirect, I said that I was speaking the truth. See, the tense changes. Direct, the teacher said, boys fail because they do not study regularly. Indirect, the teacher said that boys failed because they did not study regularly. Children, this reported speech changing from direct to indirect, it comes with practice. If there is a universal truth or habitual fact in the reported speech, the tense remains the same, unchanged. He said, faces the index of mind. He said that the face is the index of mind. The teacher said the earth rotates round its axis. The teacher said that the earth rotates round its axis. Please note the tense remains the same because these are some facts. We cannot change. These facts do not change. So the tense remains the same. Horatius said that death comes sooner or later. Horatius said that death comes sooner or later. The tense of the verb in the reported speech does not change if the reported speech states a past historical fact, as he said India became free on 15th August 1947. This is a fact, a historical fact. He said that India became free on 15th August 1947. See, here the tense does not change. Why? Because historical fact is stated here. Her father lived at Lahore for 10 years. She said that her father lived at Lahore for 10 years. If two such actions are given in the reported speech which take place at the same time, the past indefinite or continuous tense does not change. He said, Mohan was singing a song while Gopal was playing on a flute. Indirect, he said that Mohan was singing a song while Gopal was playing on a flute. Examples. Direct, she said, I am a top-class singer. Indirect, she said that she was a top-class singer. Here the tense changes. We said he's writing a poem. We said that he was writing a poem. Please note, present tense changes into past. Direct, he said it may rain tonight. He said that it might rain that night. Tonight changes into that night. He said a devil ever remains a devil. He said that a devil ever remains a devil. The future tense of the reported speech is changed as under. Future indefinite. Would, should. Future continuous. Would, should be. Future perfect. Would, should have. Future perfect continuous. Would or should have been. Have a look at the examples here. Direct, you said he's a very good athlete. Indirect, you said that he was a very good athlete. I said I have finished my work. I said that I had finished my work. He said her parents will pay a visit to Delhi. He said that her parents would pay a visit to Delhi. Interrogative sentences, conversion of interrogative sentences from direct to indirect. Let's have a look at these. The reporting verb is changed into ask, inquire, demand, etc. No conjunction is used to introduce the reported speech. The question begins with an interrogative verb. If or whether is used to introduce the reported speech, it has no question part. Change the question into statements, put full stop, mark of interrogation, etc. Questions beginning with the helping verb. He said to her, shall I accompany you to Agra? He asked her if he would accompany her to Agra. She said to him, had I been absenting myself from school for a month? She said, if she had been absenting herself from school for a month. He said to us, has she been spinning since yesterday? He asked us if she had been spinning since the previous day. Yesterday changes into previous day. They said to you, shall we be going on picnic tomorrow? They asked you if they would be going on a picnic the next day. Please note, tomorrow changes into next day. I said to her, will you have ironed your clothes? I asked her if she would have ironed her clothes. Sentences having yes or no. Are there any more files? He asked. Yes, sir, said the peon. He asked the peon if there were any more files. The peon replied respectfully in affirmative. Yes is written as affirmative. The teacher said to Leela, did you break the window pane? No, sir, said Leela, I did not. The teacher asked Leela if she had broken the window pane. Leela replied respectfully and refused to have done it. If you find my answers satisfactory, will you give me 5 rupees? Said the astrologer. No, replied the customer. The astrologer asked the customer whether he would give him 5 rupees if he found his answers satisfactory. The customer replied in the negative because the reply was no. Direct. I said to him, do you want to go to Chandigarh? He said, no, sir. I asked him if he wanted to go to Chandigarh, and respectfully he replied in the negative. Direct. He said to me, does Mohan still play? I said, yes, sir. Indirect. He asked me if Mohan still played, and I replied in the positive. Questions beginning with interrogative words. Children, you have to note here that whatever is being done in this session is important. It will help you later also in your higher classes. They said to her, whose house are you purchasing? They asked her whose house she was purchasing. They said to him, why are you making mischief? You asked him why he was making mischief. They said to us, how have you solved this sum? They asked us how we had solved that sum. Note here, the tense changes. We said to them, who has misguided you? We asked them who had misguided them. Questions beginning with modal auxiliaries. Modal, shall, should, can, could are all modals. Direct. I said to him, may Sunita come in to discuss with you something? Indirect. I asked him if Sunita might come in to discuss with him something. The traveller said to me, can you tell me the way to the nearest inn? The traveller asked me if I could tell him the way to the nearest inn. He said to me, must I leave for Mumbai tomorrow? He asked me if he had to leave for Mumbai the next day. I said to her, could you give me your notes? I asked her if she could give me her notes. I said to him, need I go to him? I asked him if I had to go to him. Convert the following sentences into indirect speech. He said to her, do you want to go home? He said to you, where are you going? I said to him, what brings you here? So please note down these questions, children. I have some questions for you here. Are you noting down? Very good. Please note down these questions. You have to convert these sentences into indirect speech. It is indirect speech and you have to change into indirect speech. She said to me, who taught you English? See, this is all in indirect speech, children. Please note, children. So 5 questions. Now here are the answers for you, children. Please check whether you got them right. He asked her if she wanted to go home. He asked you where you were going. I asked him what brought him there. You asked us how we solved that sum. She asked me how I was getting on with my studies. I asked my friend if he had been to England. Next one. She asked me who had taught me English. He asked his mother why he had not washed his school dress. So these are the answers that I am showing you, children. Have you noted down? Have you checked whether you got them all correct? In case you have made a mistake, please do the correction so that you learn the correct thing. Okay. Change the following into indirect speech. Here's one more exercise for you. What are you supposed to do? Change into indirect speech. Please note down and do it, children. Very important. We have reported speech in higher classes also. So you must learn. First you have to by heart all the rules and regulations. Otherwise you cannot answer. Are you getting me? So these are the questions that I'm showing you. Now, here are the answers. Please note down, check whether you are them all correct. So questions, then the answers, children. Are you checking? Very good. So, whatever I have done in this session, what are you supposed to do? Go through again and again. Read, revise, write down in your notebooks. Exams are fast approaching. You must be thorough with all the topics. Only then you can do well in your examination. Thank you. That's all for this session. All the best. Study hard. Goodbye.